Greetings and welcome back to my channel. Today we're looking at the 2001 romantic comedy film Serendipity, directed by Peter Chelsom and starring John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Let's begin. While Christmas shopping at Bloomingdale's in New York City, Jonathan Traeger meets Sarah Thomas when they both try to buy the same pair of gloves. Despite both being in relationships, a mutual attraction leads them to have dessert at the restaurant called Serendipity 3, where Sarah explains that she lets fate's little signals determine many of her life's decisions. After separating, they meet again when each returns to the restaurant to retrieve something they forgot. Jonathan convinces Sarah to give him her number, but when the wind blows it out of his grasp, Sarah thinks it is fate telling them to back off. Jonathan disagrees and Sarah decides to let fate reunite them. She has Jonathan write his number on a $5 bill, which she uses to buy breath mints, and promises to sell her copy of Love in the Time of Cholera, in which she will write her name and number. As one last experiment, Sarah tosses Jonathan one of the gloves. They board separate elevators in the Waldorf Astoria and agree that if they arrive on the same floor, they are meant to be. They each pick the same floor, but Jonathan is delayed when a child on his elevator presses random buttons. Sarah believes that the experiment has failed. Years later, Jonathan is an ESPN producer engaged to Haley, and Sarah is a therapist living in San Francisco, engaged to a musician, Lars. Jonathan accidentally finds his glove and goes out with his friend Dean to find Sarah. Meanwhile, Sarah, stressed by the wedding planning and Lars' focus on an upcoming world tour, travels to New York with her best friend Eve to find Jonathan. After nearly crossing paths with Jonathan throughout the day, Eve and Sarah have dessert at Serendipity, where Eve convinces Sarah to give up, but Eve's change contains the $5 bill with Jonathan's number. They catch the same cab Jonathan and Dean rode in earlier. After finding a roommate finder service next to Serendipity that Sarah once used is now a bridal shop, Jonathan sees it as a sign that he should marry Haley. At the Waldorf Astoria, Eve and Sarah encounter Haley heading to the wedding rehearsal. Haley invites Eve to join her since they were friends in college, but Sarah declines. Outside their room, she finds an apologetic Lars. At the rehearsal, Jonathan's distracted demeanor frustrates Haley, who pleads with him to focus on the wedding. Haley then gives him Sarah's old copy of Love in the Time of Cholera as a wedding gift. Jonathan and Dean use Sarah's phone number to get her address and fly to San Francisco. Once there, they see Sarah's sister and her boyfriend making love and assume that it is Sarah in a happy relationship. Dean helps Jonathan realize that he shouldn't marry Haley, while Sarah decides to end her engagement to Lars. The next day, Sarah finds the $5 bill with Jonathan's number on it, having gotten hers and Eve's wallets mixed up. After getting his address and being told by the building superintendent of his wedding at the Waldorf, Sarah hurries there and is relieved to find the ceremony has been cancelled. Dean reassures Jonathan that he did the right thing and vows to be more spontaneous in his own marriage, which has been on the rocks. Jonathan wanders to the same ice skating rink where he spent part of his evening with Sarah 10 years earlier and finds a leather jacket on a bench. As it begins to snow, he lies on his back in the middle of the rink with the jacket as a pillow next to one of the pair of gloves. When the matching glove lands on his chest, he sits up and finds Sarah watching him, having come to claim her jacket. They introduce themselves and finally share a kiss. They celebrate their anniversary at Bloomingdale's in front of the display of gloves where they met. If you enjoyed this film, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below letting me know which movie you'd like to see me do next, and what your favorite part of this one was. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.